I have these whip attacks. For this game, you really just try and survive as long as possible. Oh goodness, is there a good way out? I really don't see a good way out. Oh my god, leave me alone! No! Oh, Rud. Oh, no, I got caught. So that's how it'll be when you first start. I got around 13 minutes. I think that's decent when you're running in with literally nothing. But let's see what it would look like if you had a few power-ups. Okie doke. So here are the upgrades that I'm going to play with for now. Most of these are just kind of utility, so not directly linked to damage like this might one. I did cooldown, area, speed, duration. I honestly don't know what luck does, but I increased magnet, which is just great. It just helps you kind of collect experience without having to run around and actually get it. Move speed, extra gold for each run makes accumulating gold a lot easier. And getting experience, so getting up those levels much faster. Let's see how much this will help me. And also, I'm going to use Gennaro, I guess this guy's name is. This is the guy that you can unlock him fairly quickly. He starts with knives. The first time I did really well in one of these runs was with him. So we're going to try it. We're going to go back to the forest. I will do a different video about the library because I tend to do a bit better in the library for reasons that will become obvious when I do that video. But I'll do this one about the Mad Forest. Let's see if we can't do a little bit better. So I start with knives. I control the direction of these knives. And his passive, Gennaro, is that every item I get an extra projectile, which something for knives is really helpful. I'm also going to let myself take any upgrade that I want. I'm going to go with the Santa Water. This is not an immediately helpful weapon, if I'm being entirely honest, but it drops these little areas of fire. I guess it's supposed to be like holy water type thing. And it gets more and more useful when, the more enemies are on the screen and the more damage it'll do. So you'll be seeing this and it'll drop and it'll be kind of helpful, but by the end game, it's super helpful. Okay. Let's go with the cross. This is a kind of fun one. It throws it and then it goes back. So I'm going to be purposefully picking a lot of weapons with a lot of projectiles because the extra +1 to projectiles is going to be just genuinely quite useful on this guy. And I should be able to get quite a bit further into this game. Fire Wand. It'll do a lot of damage, but I can't really control where it goes. But the fact that it's another projectile one is going to synergize quite well with Mr. Knife Man here. More projectiles with the knives, absolutely yes. As you play this game more, you're going to find the characters that you like. Oh boy, let's avoid the bats because they don't have garlic yet. I like basing some of these off of the projectiles. It's just a lot of fun for me. I want to see how many things I can be chucking around all at once. Oh boy, let's do more cross stuff. I'll worry about the water a little bit further into the game. But the crosses are quite useful because they pass through a lot of enemies. So when you're getting swarmed by a bunch of people, it can kind of help cover your back. I'm going to be getting these tome upgrades because I want the cooldowns to be decreased. That means I'm going to be throwing out my buffed projectiles even faster. Ooh, chest. Was that from a bat? Nice. Got it. Upgrade to water. Oh. I know garlic doesn't have a lot of... It's not exactly a projectile, so that's not going to really benefit from this character's passive, but it's still going to be super helpful. If I see a swarm of bats, I no longer have to be as worried. But I am going to increase Candelabra. Augments area of attacks by 10%. That affects the knives, it affects the garlic, it affects basically everything that I have, so it's going to be great. Ooh. I'm going to take increased projectile speed. It's going to make everything fly a little bit faster. I have so many projectiles, I think it'll synergize really well. But yes, knives can be quite helpful because yeah, you do have to manually input like where you want things to be hitting, but sometimes you really want to have that control over where your damage is going. For example, if I really want to be killing this mantis guy, some of my other items and weapons aren't going to be targeting him because he's not the closest enemy, or you know, it's supposed to fire randomly. So it's going to be a bit more difficult for me to focus down some of these enemies that I wanted to prioritize without something like the knives or a whip or the axe and positioning very specifically. So now I actually was able to kill that praying mantis fairly quickly because I targeted it so heavily, and that gets me a treasure chest. Okay, fire wand upgrade. I will absolutely take that. The fire wand is one of those things. It's kind of like, I think of it as artillery. It does a lot of damage, but the reload time is pretty high. It's kind of unpredictable. So it's very helpful later in the game because there's going to be enemies everywhere. So it doesn't really matter where it's getting set. But in the beginning, it can get kind of difficult to really maneuver around. Like, it's already doing that kind of red numbers damage at this point in the game with those fireballs. But it's nice to have something that's going to do a lot of damage, but kind of randomly, as paired with, you know, damage that you can really direct and control. So it goes, I want to focus on the boss enemies, you know, versus all these random little guys that aren't going to be as useful, or you're not going to worry about as much. The knife is one that's going to get a lot of projectiles, and look, I always love getting this pickup. Pass through more enemies, fire one more projectile, really trying to max out this knife. Woo, knives everywhere! Okay. We're in business. Quite a lot of damage. I have my crosses and my fire wand thingy doing a lot of damage in random directions. Then I can also direct with the knives. Okay, picking up the axe. Axe is going to still benefit from that extra projectile, and it's going to do quite a bit of damage. So maxing out on all the projectiles. And if you can tell, I'm going to pause this real quick. I can no longer pick up any new items. These are all the weapons that I will be getting. You can get 6 weapons and 6 passive items. So I won't be seeing any more potential new weapons. These are the weapons I'm going to be playing with for the rest of this game. And I like this combination. They all synergize quite well with the projectiles bonuses that I get from this character. So it's one of those kind of playstyle things. You figure out what's going to look good for you, what's going to work well. Ooh, stopwatch. Just take care of a bunch of people all at once. Very nice, very nice. Okay, ooh, the vampire bats are showing up. But actually, I took care of that very quickly. Awesome! Alright, so my knife is now level 8. And ideally, I can show you what happens when some of your weapons get to level 8 soon. Here's something I can show you guys! Fire! Yeah, this always reminds me of that Super Smash Brothers item, where you, I think it's the curry, and you just kind of spew fire out of your mouth. Fantastic. Alright. Oh, another. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's increase garlic. Let's increase attract orb. That way I can be a little bit further away from my enemies and still pick up a lot of the kind of experience gems that they'll drop. Is there a way for me to get out of here? Oh no, I was not paying attention. So yeah, I was able to scooch out of there because of the hole in the ranks. Chicken, I need the chicken. I took a lot of damage from being stuck in there. Okie dokie. on the hunt for some chicken. Oh, it's the skeleton swarm time. But I have a lot of projectiles now that do quite a bit of damage, so I feel like I'm in a much better position to just kind of get out of here. I gotta be careful about terrain that I can't pass through. Definitely at this point, the water is going to be super helpful, because there's so many enemies on screen that the more kind of pools where they're going to be taking a lot of damage, it's going to be super helpful. The Saint Water is very unassuming, but then a lot of times when I looked at my damage charts at the end of a game, it ended up doing the most amount of DPS, which is super impressive to me. But yeah, it's definitely not as helpful in the beginning, but by the end of the game, when you get to this point, there's so many enemies on screen, you really want that Saint Water. Santa Water. Santa Water? Santa Water. I just want some chicken, come on. Leave me alone, guys, give me some chicken. Oh, the wolves are out. Oh, please don't shove things into me, bats. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay, so first off, I get 3 upgrades here, which is fantastic. And quite a bit of gold. And here's what I was looking for. So if you have the right weapon all the way upgraded and the right passive item, you get an evolved weapon. So this is an evolved version of the knife, and it basically, there's no cooldown. It's just permanently shooting out, which is super helpful. It's such a big upgrade. And the reason I was able to upgrade that is I had the knife all the way upgraded, and I had this bracer. So part of the fun parts of this game is finding those synergies. What item requires what passive, and what is that upgrade going to look like? I really like the knife upgrade because it's just a constant stream of damage, and it really helps you with some of the bosses. It allows you to kind of take them down quickly, assuming you don't get a werewolf shoved on top of your face. So that's our first kind of weapon upgrade, weapon evolution perhaps, of the game. Let's get some spinach to increase the damage that we're doing, because it is a constant stream of knives, but the knives aren't doing an absurd amount of damage just yet, so I gotta be careful still. So yeah, that's the fun parts of this game to me, where you go like, I want to explore this game more. It feels like there's a lot to keep coming back to, and I want to see what weapons are going to synergize with what, you know, power up, what's it going to look like, does it fit my play style, how do I get further and further, what are these enemies, oh my lord. Okay. Oh no, I've been boxed in. I don't know if I'm gonna get out of this alive. Okay, so the fact that there were so many enemies there actually helped me, because a lot of them kind of shoved aside those flowers. Fantastic pickup here, because I've been letting a lot of experience drop. Oh my god, I made it out of there. Okay, let's keep surviving. Okay, a damage upgrade. That is fantastic. I will absolutely take that. Another upgrade here. Let's go with more damage. Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff that I left behind. that I left behind. We'll do that. We'll do the water. We'll do the water. We'll do the hearts. We'll do the water. Wow, I left a lot of stuff on the floor. Cool. A lot of upgrades all at once there because of all the stuff that I had to kind of leave behind before. This is going to be super helpful. Just kind of see how many more items, enemies that there are at this point in the game. I could really use some health. I don't know if coming back this way was the right option. Okay, 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 okay. Gotta keep moving. can't just slow down for no reason. Yeah, look how common these like praying mantis enemies are now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is also the part in the game where there's so many enemies on screen and so many people taking damage that it starts flashing everywhere. There is like actually an epilepsy warning, photosensitivity warning at the beginning of this game, kind of for that reason, I assume. So it is going to get a bit distracting, and rather distressing if you suffer from epilepsy or a photosensitivity issue. So that is something to be noted about this game, and I'm pretty sure I would have included that little disclaimer at the beginning. But yeah, thank you, chicken. And some mummies. Okay, let's use this time to do a bunch of damage, because I don't think there's like a pool of gems that I was trying to reach. Oh, and this little arrow indication means there should be a treasure chest for me. Quite a bit of gems. Let's try and get all that. Let's increase that. Get a bit of extra passive regen right now. Oh, fantastic. Come on. Okay, I got the upgrade to the holy water type thing. Now it'll be on the floor and those damaging zones will keep moving towards me. It's one of those things where when there's so many enemies coming at you, it's super helpful. So now you can see that they're huge and they do a bunch of damage, and they will kind of keep moving towards me. So this is a part in the game, once you have a lot of garlic upgrade and the Saint Water upgrade, you can kind of just stand still a little bit more, and then that's when this upgrades like the knives, where you can direct where the damage is going to go. It's very helpful, because there's going to be a lot of external damage for like smaller minions and smaller enemies, and then you can really focus on pretty heavy damage in whatever direction that you want it to be. Oh, look! Yeah, here's where every so often these bat swarms are going to get really insane, because they start shoving all these like mummies and stuff at you. But I also have enough damage that I'm actually able to take care of a lot of these guys without too much issue. And this big mummy here is definitely a boss type, so I'm trying to focus my attention on him. And thankfully, all my other weapons and stuff are keeping me safe, so I can focus on him. And I got a treasure for my trouble. Nice. Okay, this is the upgrade for the fire wand, and it requires the spinach. And it is an insane amount of damage, as you'll be soon see. It's like these they look like meteors, and they just do so much damage at random, and they just clear out huge paths of enemies for you. But yeah, quite a bit of enemies on screen, yeah. Yeah, so if you can make it this far into the game, and you have the right items, it actually almost gets easier, because you're just doing so much damage, you have so much coverage, that you're in a great position. But it takes quite a while to get to this point. The upgrades certainly help. Unlocking certain items and weapons certainly helps. And then you make it to this part, and you're like, yes, I am invincible. That's always so satisfying. Just seeing these swarms of experience just flying into your face. Wow, wow, okay, that's more than I expected. Let's go! Yeah, so I'm doing pretty well, and this is around the point when you can kind of just sit still and let your weapons do all the work. But every so often a boss character will show up, and you really got to pay attention to that, because it'll just all of a sudden not be dying to your circle of death, all this extra damage that you have accumulated. But then that's when the knives are helpful, because then you can just really focus in, do a lot of damage very quickly. But that may not happen for a bit. Okay, new enemy type. This kind of purple flower people. And definitely a boss type here, which I am just unloading my knives onto. There we go. No problem. Okay, what do you got for me this time? Pretty sure it's a fancy upgrade. Ooh, is this the axe upgrade? I think it is. I actually forgot what it requires. It's the candelabra? Fantastic. So now, with the axe upgrade, we're like... We were already there, but this is officially you sit still and let the game play itself. You just kind of let it happen. Getting to this point in the game is very satisfying. It's kind of tricky to do it, and obviously requires a lot of trial and error. What items evolve together, what synergies work together, spending money on the gold on characters and upgrades. I don't even have any damage upgrades. All of my stuff was purely, cooldown stuff and area of effect, which is all obviously very helpful. But once you get kind of to the point where you understand the game a bit, you kind of turn it into this, and you just kind of sit still and win, and it's great. All these bats cannot do anything to me. Actually, they're making more progress than I thought they would be making. But I have a lot of AoE damage between the Santa Water and the axes, and the crosses, and the fire wand, death wand thingy. Still kind of picking up upgrades every so often. A lot of experience out here. I just got to kind of force my way through. Yeah, and once you've fully upgraded all of your weapons, all your passives, then you start getting the choice. Do you either want more gold so you can spend on upgrades afterwards, or do you want chicken to restore your health? Which sometimes is very necessary, but at the current moment, all I'm going to do is pick up some extra gold. And there you go. Yeah, honestly, at this point, it gets kind of hard to keep track of what's going on. So many bats. I even feel like my frame rate is kind of chugging along a little bit with so many things happening. Oh, I finally got the garlic upgrade. I don't even need it at this point. Even more AoE. Oh my god, there's so much. This is an absurd amount of experience and gold that I'm getting. What? Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's how you clear a level. You get to 30 minutes, and all of a sudden the Grim Reaper will just come and kill you. I don't know if there's a way to actually kill him. Maybe there is, but I have not been able to kill him yet. So yeah, the end game of this gets kind of crazy. There's so many enemies, but if you have the right setup, you just kind of sit still and you kill them all, and it's awesome. And figuring out what weapons do what synergies work out. Like, look at the damage numbers. The axe upgraded 8,000 damage per second. It's pretty awesome. So that is Vampire Survivors. That is the first stage. I will show you the next stages. I will try and unlock the new stage, but that's this game. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of replay value. It took me quite a lot to get to the point where I understood how to just get to the late game and sit still when all these different kind of weapon combinations and different things to try, and they keep updating the game. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun. I think I've been getting into a lot of roguelites recently where it's just, I want to get better at the game. I want to explore it. I want to see what else there is to play in the game. But that is going to be me for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you liked the game. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.